Ciao a tutti, bentornati a questo nuovo episodio del podcast del Bartender. Io sono Carmine Rigori, questo è un podcast dedicato al mondo del bar. Devo salvare più tempo possibile perché voglio parlare con queste persone. Sono molto emozionato e felice di fare un episodio con questi ragazzi. Io intanto sono incastrato in un calorifero e niente, il discorso che faremo oggi sarà parlando del passato, presente e futuro del flair bartending. Lo faremo in inglese, quindi io sono l'unica persona tra queste 5 che non parla inglese e io farò più il moderatore, quindi farò un discorso e chiederò ai ragazzi di espormi le loro idee sul discorso. Abbiamo il piacere di avere, we have the pleasure to have Tom Dyer here with us. Grazie Tom.
Thank you.
Luca Valentin.
Thank you.
Matteo Melara e Francesco Leoni.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So guys, I'm glad to have you here. Thank you so much. I'm feel like goosebumps to have all you guys here now. And I would like to talk about past, present, and future of flair bartending because I have a lot of questions. I would like to look at you guys and talking about these things inside the bartending world. So I'm asked Tom and Luca to previously in our episode about how flair changed the past years. Like when you guys start was different. Like when Francesco start was different. Maybe Tom, you start a little bit after Francesco, some years after Francesco.
When did you start?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Am I allowed to say it? Well, first competition ever was 1999 in Germany, and then eventually the year after was Roadhouse 2000.
Okay. Yeah. I started flaring at the end of middle of 2000, and then first competition was 2001 September.
Okay, we already talked about how in that moment how flair bartender capitalize the flair, how to get money or be someone in that period.
Well, basically, there were the first things first. There were a lot of flair bars. Eventually, in London, especially, I remember Beer&Food being basically something that came out from TJ Fridays because Steve Locke, Lee Miller, peoples that basically in the UK, especially those days, they eradicate the flair bartending through TJ Fridays World Championship outside TJ Fridays World. So they open up Beer&Food that nowadays I believe is not there anymore.
Still there.
It's still there.
They have 44 Beer&Ones now.
Ah, there you go. So they did some good things throughout the years. There were a lot of flair bars. Living Ventures, those days, they were the ones that eradicate flair bartending throughout operational systems. So it wasn't a show, it was an operational bar throughout the UK. That is basically how they did capitalize flair bartending throughout being able to be attached in front of the crowd, but the crowd that they were paying for their drinks.
And what about you guys?
Well, it was. I mean, I started shortly after Francesco, so I felt a lot of that as well. Like I saw how Beer&Food grew. TGI Fridays was like the competition to go and watch. You know, you would see it was slightly different. And then you saw that change from the bar to the stage. And Lee Miller said this once. He goes, he won the TGI Fridays World Championships in 96 or something.
96.
And then when he went to the stage, he said, I didn't like it because you lose the connection with the people. And the bartenders, the flair bartenders, when Francesco was around, it was all about that connection with the people. So we had to capitalize in competitions. That was it. That was that's how my first performance was on Roadhouse on stage. Flaring behind the bar was something that we did, but the focus went 90% on stage competitions and making big moves. So it completely changed.
You guys was not looking for create a brand, talk about your image and doing all these things we need to do today. So
Too young and stupid to think about business those days.
I think Christian was probably the first one to push that kind of image, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But after a few years.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember, Francesco, when you when you told me your story about when you laughing in the front of the manager of
Caesar's Palace.
Caesar Palace. He asked you to work and you laughing in his face.
Yeah, because I couldn't believe it, you know. It's like, oh, I want you to work for me. And I was a gypsy traveling throughout Central America and the United States on a backpack. And Vice President Food and Beverage for Caesar's Palace asking me that kind of question. It was quite strange, even after a really good placement on Legends of Bartending taking third place.
Okay. What about the main question in my mind is why in that period, I remember when I started to flare, there was Bacardi Pro Flare, Legend of Bartending in Roadhouse. Who was winning? The Roadhouse was winning like 10,000 pounds.
Yes.
Why in that period company was giving so much money to Flare Bartender competition, to Flare Bartender 2, and now there are no money anymore for us. So maybe
There you go.
I've got an answer. Because Flare was brand new. It was like the new trend. That was like everyone was looking at Flare. It was just like this brand new thing that we were discovering. And it was this show, this like, what was going on? You know, cocktails had just become popular from TGI Fridays from the 80s and 90s. And then Flare was this thing which was being pushed by the cocktail movie and TGI Fridays. So we were just riding that train until mixology took over and killed it for everyone.
Listen
Matteo,
to the tone of that.
Matteo, yeah, you Matteo are here and you work for a company now. So you maybe know what a company think about it, maybe because you did a big career as a flare bartender. So a lot of flare bartender, I think, coming to you to asking money, and
yeah. So the thing is more about the lack of driving sales and return of investment in the flare competition. That's actually something that, if you compare it with the mixology competition that has really bartender, bar manager, owners, and I put a spotlight on the industry in terms of mixology, in terms of brands, the true differences because there is no more that much investment on flare bartending. In reality, it's this one. It's just about ROI, which is just company-wise policy. From a side, I think that on the flare bartending world, we should have a different focus on what we can give as a return of investment in a company in order to keep them motivated and engaging with the flare bartending. Because it's not that the company doesn't like flare bartending or don't want to sponsorize flare bartending. It's purely commercial decision. So, in my opinion, there is space, but we need to find a way about the return of investment of this company, because I think that most of the important competition in terms of cash price and investment that we have nowadays are sponsorized about companies that making volumes in that bars, you know. Guys, I don't want to say that a tequila brand could sponsorize a competition in London just because they want to sponsorize the competition if it doesn't have a return of investment in the bar that they sponsorize. So those are the things that, in my opinion, push it a little bit back the investment from the company in flare bartending instead of mixology. And as Tom say, we ride the train with a big investment in US, and this push also Europe to keep investing in flare bartending. But honestly, and I think Francesco, Tom, maybe he can speak better about this. I never saw a huge investment and effort in sponsorize and make flare competition so well known than in US. I was thinking like 2005, between 2005 and 2006 and 2010, US, they got a show. It wasn't just a flare concert. They organized show to give to the customers. Sure. And this is a huge difference. between nowadays.
Maybe,
Yeah, I believe that something like Luca is a case history. You know, in Romania they going through 22 years of the same concept of flair bartending competition with Flair Crash, the 22nd edition this year, right?
Yes.
And that means that they have been able to maintain a figure in between the show and the sponsors as well and the brands. But I believe that if all sorts of brands that they invested in their own mixology competition and they decided to go towards mixology rather than flair, there is something else going on. As in, I'm not having doubts about brands. I'm just having doubts why choosing something boring. Because it is, but eventually it works to get money into their brands as well. So we need to ask ourselves what, and I believe Luca surely as a case history after 22 years, can tell us something about it.
Yeah. The Champions Flair Crash. Actually, we improved the how flair is looking actually about the points of the cocktail. The cocktail is important. The last edition, the winner actually won with the cocktail, a flair competition. So a lot of good points there. Also, we changed, for example, the bar station. It looked amazing. It cost much more than Flair Co case, and this looked so professional, you know. So I think the image is important. How Flair is looking from outside, and how the crowd and how the brands are looking. We have a LED screen, and for years we keep that budget for the LED screen. It's a small detail, but it's important how he's looking. You know, I really believe that Tom knows better the WFA World Series, where the bartenders, they was like wearing shirts and they look amazing. The cocktails amazing flair, working flair. But after all, you know, the pictures, the videos, they was brilliant actually.
So yeah, you're right. It puts flair in a different light in front of people. But there's one thing which you said about with mixology competitions. I would guess that 99% of the people entering mixology competitions are still working in good cocktail bars. If you go to a flair competition now, out of 30 people, 15 of them are independent.
Very true. Very
so
true.
you okay, cool. You did great in my competition. Where do you work? I just throw bottles around. Useless.
In sweatpants.
Yeah. Sweatpants. Exactly. But you're right. Like the image, although I'm wearing a t-shirt today, I feel that if flair competitions focused more on the presentation of the stage, of the bartenders, where the bartenders look a little bit more presentable in some ways, or differentiated themselves, it would just help that a little bit more. Yeah, agree.
Also the tools of a flair bartender is looking like completely different than the mixology. And when we are doing the classes, the camps, we are telling this to the students, you know, and we are showing them the examples of that kind of scratches, you know, on the shakers, that yellows. They look awful, you know, on the stage. And when the brands are putting the money inside of the prize money and they are looking to the bartenders, how they present themselves, these look like, come on, we need to change a bit. And I believe we just need to tell to the bartenders, to the competitors, all these small details, you know, how they need to dress, the grooming, not to do stupid things on the stage. I know we are telling them on the briefing, but
it could be too late by the briefing. No,
exactly.
Yeah.
But as putting together the two things that you just said is like styles and image with rules.
Yeah.
That's how throughout the year, you know, throughout camps, educational programs, training programs, and then working on the rules of the actual flair competition, that could be a combination of something that the style, the image, and the brands itself, the relation with brands can only grow.
We had a discussion with Stefanov and with the guys to compete with shirts, and they told me, no, Luca, no. I mean, a nice shirt. I mean, Carmine, you are flaring in shirt and you are doing like showy shirt. you can do it. I mean, big moves, you know, you don't need just t-shirts, you know, like flexible shirts that are brilliant. Actually, you are looking good. You are feeling good. Of course, they are brands, but you know,
That's why I was saying earlier sweatpants, but we know there is, unfortunately, it's like that, you know?
Sure.
And the branding point of view, I've been working for a few brands for a few years. They don't want to see that.
so,
They want to see a good image, a good cocktail, quality cocktails, and an overall good show.
Yeah. Also, I think that when you think about flair competition, is easier mess up the company itself for any single competitor. When you think about a mixology competition, in the worst case, the cocktail is not good. But for the people but for the people that is looking at it, they don't care that much about, they cannot taste the drink. So if the guys is looking good, speaking well, is good, kind, even if the cocktail is a shit, even if the cocktail is a shit, the competition in the state for that competitor was looking good. So there is a huge difference, and I think that there were years between 2005 and maybe 2015 where we got a good bunch of 15 flair bartenders, 20 flair bartenders that could deliver a proper show, even with drops, because it's part of the game, you know. But at the end, they can deliver a good show.
Sure.
And that's why I think in that years, there were more investment about from the brands in itself in the flair bartending. And in another end, because I think is good to spotlight this. Prepare a flair competition needs years. Prepare a cocktail competition needs couple of months.
Yeah.
And that's a huge difference that I think I should be elevated in front of the customers and of the crowd.
So everyone here been on to be did flair judging a competition. So everyone here. So when you have to judge, you are looking for like 30 guys. Okay, you are looking only on the flair, or you're looking to make the final the best show you can give to the competition. Like, because I did nothing between me, I'm nothing between you, but I did I judged it too. And when I was looking for to all the competitors, I was thinking about yes, I have to judge everyone, but I think it's in my job to try to make a nice show in that 8 or 10 guys. So, what do you think about this?
Go on.
I believe is a consequence of what the rules and regulations are about to say, you know,
Sure.
because as a judge, you need to stick to the rules and regulation, and the organizer's priority is a funnel. So it comes from the rules. And then eventually, as a judge, if you follow the rules and you give points in different categories and everything else about the rules, then eventually, automatically, you're going to get the best show for the final. So it's all about I think the discrepancy is competitors that they don't study the rules.
I do think there's sometimes though a little bit of ambiguity with the let's say scoring in this case. Like, what is originality? What is entertainment? What is this? What is this? What is this? Because as a judge, when you're given all these categories, I find it very difficult sometimes to judge each category 100% fairly, because you can look at entertainment and it can be 10 subcategories, and one competitor may excel in one or two of those categories but do really badly in others. And then another one will excel in other parts of entertainment and then do really bad in others. So who scores more points? And that's when it comes down to you to be the bad guy to decide. And I think that's, there's a very gray line in that respect on exactly what Francesco said. The rules and the scoring need to be very clear and say the judges are looking for 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And this is what we expect you to do. so that when it comes to judging, everybody knows that if they follow the music really, really well, they're going to score really high points. But at the end of the day, it's still a subjective opinion of 3, 4, or 5 people. And that is the difficult part, because when someone's practiced 6 months for a routine and they know their routine inside out, and they know that if they land that routine, that they should be the winner. And even when they go up on stage and they make 7 or 8 mistakes, in their mind, they're like, they're just still small mistakes, you know? I can still do really well with this. So that's when it starts to go a bit fuzzy, you know? But
What do you think, Luca?
I hate judging. No, I mean, I was so happy, when somebody's calling me to go to judge, you know, it's a hard job. It's harder than competing, actually. You need to be really focused on all the categories. And, sometimes you need to judge your friends, you know, the bartenders that you are like spending time sharing the bed, maybe somewhere in Japan, you know, and, you need to be objective what you are seeing on the stage. Of course, I love originality, creativity. My point of view about judging, is to be somehow complete, you know, to score and to be smart enough to score more points to all these categories, like difficulty, originality. And originality, again, is like, as Tom says, he told me one time, he was judging me in Singapore, and he told me like, man, your original moves, actually, they are hard. And he was like, yeah, because my style was like stylish kind of body language and so on. And he was start talking with the other judges, like, Luca's style is hard. It's not easy to learn all that moves. So it's important actually to know the rules, like if you are in that position of judging, you know.
So we are talking about rules, so let's go into it. I saw, like, you told me yesterday when I was in the car, and I saw Francesco too, was talking on social media about argument about something was Daniele Arcello was always talking about. He want the deduction point back, you know. And I saw on social media we are talking about this, so maybe we can discuss about that now.
well, you've opened the box now.
What that is it?
I believe that parallelly they should exist different. Well, we have the opportunity or the luck that different type of flair bartending competition could exist, as they were already. I'm taking it as an example: King of the Ring and Legends of Bartending. Two massive competitions that they happened, a couple of months away from one another. The rules, they were way apart. One was extreme flair. The other one was flair bartending. They could exist. So they could exist, as I said before, one beside another. So it's all about what sort of show you want to get out of it. And obviously the consequences, good and bad. Obviously, like Legends of Bartending in those days, the budget of putting up Legends of Bartending, I'm talking about, again, my age, indirectly, was about $100,000 25 years ago to put up 3 days competition. King of the Ring was not that type of budget, but not because they didn't want to spend that type of budget. That type of competition preferred to focus on something else. So I believe we have an extreme opportunity to have different type of competition going on at the same time.
Yeah.
What I see is that is not happening from quite a while.
Agreed. I completely agree, because I'll just repeat what Francesco said, because why not give the opportunity for the benefits of giving different competitions is that you start to have different winners. Now, when we have Blue Blazer, Triple Challenge, Legends, King of the Ring, there are 4 different winners normally. Whereas now the same structure is happening mostly from one competition to another, and people are scared to challenge the bartender. The bartenders generally, no, I want to do big moves and blah, 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 whatever. But I think to really get those sponsors in and to diversify the world of flair, you can't be afraid to make a change and do a difference. Like the big thing you said to me was, it's a small thing, but it's a big thing. The difference of the bar on stage. Everyone just brings a any bar, that'll do, but you made a point to say, let's think about the bar, So let's think about the drops. And as Francesco said, you put a competition with a lot of deductions, you should have cleaner rounds. You put a competition without deductions, it's a mess. And then the sponsors don't want to sponsor, So
Yeah. The question here is, if we have competition with a strong deduction for drops and one with less easier deduction for drops, let's say, do the flair bartender would change their routine? No. So, the thing is about mentality too.
I love natural selection, though.
I think that at the end, it's about the person who's going on the stage, how he want to perform a good show instead of show what he got. I remember once Rodrigo told me a phrase which really caught me, because it was, when you go on stage, it's depending if you want to win or if you want to show to the people at the 100% of what you got. Because if you want to win, you're going to show the 60%.
exactly.
That's true.
Exactly.
That's true.
A funny quick story. Nicholas and John years ago, he was like, are you going to say the same story with Steve Locke? It's gone. You said it. No. Nicholas went to Steve Locke, who was one of his inspirations, and said, how'd you get so good? He goes, practice. But he goes, I'm good under pressure. And he goes, help me out here. Because he said, basically what Nicholas realized is that on stage, to be able to beat everyone, because Nicholas didn't know how good he was going to be on stage, he said, on stage, my 50% of my flair needs to be better than everyone else's. Because when you go on stage, you get so nervous, you're not able to do 100%. So Nicholas was like, I need to make sure that 50% of my flair at least is better than everyone else's at that stage in his life, so that when he goes on stage, he doesn't have to show 100% of his flair. And yeah, he won like the first 10 competitions he competed in. But yeah, you're right,
Yeah, but and also this come back to your question, if we're gonna give more importance when you judge a competition to the final round of the night in order to give a good performance on stage, but this comes for a decision of the competitor to do a good show. That's all, it's a consequence.
I think we're getting to a somewhat, I believe, of a conclusion that a lot of the things in competitions should start earlier with good training of the competitors and them understanding what is the necessity of a competition. And I think if competitors can realize that themselves and invest in themselves, they will start to see improvements in their competitions, and the organizers will be able to see improvements in the competitions, and the brands will sponsor.
Yeah.
I believe that as you guys are organizing camps, you're organizing flair bartending camps, training programs, and everything else. And as Luca was mentioning before, I'm trying to tell bartenders to wear a shirt, or I'm trying to tell bartenders to show up, their grooming as well. I just believe that nowadays we've been seeing the same format of the same type of flair bartending competition for so long,
40 years. 40 years.
Same format, So I think it's our duty or our task, since, I'm the oldest, but we've been throughout flair for quite a while, to think about new formats.
Agreed.
New structure of flair comps. Because otherwise it's just like in Italian, we had a cartoon called Tana delle Tigri, o l'uomo tigre o Tana delle Tigri. Tiger Man, yeah. And he's just being in our garage, in our practice area, and put it on stage.
Yeah.
And that doesn't work commercially wise. Doesn't work.
No.
Yeah, also to build up on this, in the personal profiles of the mixologists, they can do a nice video behind a nice cocktail bar, behind a nice counter, really easy. Most of the video from the flair bartenders are made in basement.
But we,
No, it's true. Are made in basement.
the social media are the perfect example. I don't know if you guys remember that video of mine get like 30 million of views. I put in on social media a lot of video in flare rooms, always getting good. But I did one video in a nice bar, nice suite, and I did like I think 10 bumps, and it was 40 million. Why? Completely different.
Well, there you go. You got an answer.
Yes.
Yeah. When was the last time there was a flair bartending competition behind a real bar?
I remember. Do you remember? I've just seen videos on VHS.
I think was before I starting to flare.
Jesus Christ. Of J.W. Johnson or Via Vita
Yeah.
in Birmingham, in Manchester, from those guys, and they were all behind the bars.
Yeah.
All behind the bars. The atmosphere was just madness. Was crazy.
Did you ever have any competitions behind a real bar?
No, I don't think so.
Any in like bar? Because what's that competition that used to happen in Romania?
Barmaster competition.
Yeah. They had
No, but it was on the stage. We built the stage, but
Oh.
Yeah, but also because I think that you need to offer a show that could be watchable for more people than just stuck it behind a bar, you know. And but I think it's a good point to what Francesco said before. Start to change the format. Might be just in one thing that competitors study a lot are drinks. We could just give the work in Flair Round of Legends, just a list of cocktail that you're gonna pick up. Those little things, in my opinion, would force the competitors to look in a different way to build their routine in order to be ready for every request. So there are some things that we can do, but Luca, I think, is a great example about execute a nice flare video behind the bar.
With style, you know, with style, with an image, with the right image. And that's why probably, apart from different nations, different countries, but Luca has an image nationally and internationally because he has got a style throughout his whole career as a flair bartender. It is not that common.
yeah, but to really change something, I think we need to reach Netflix. Yeah, we need.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think.
you know?
I think, and Dennis is
trying.
He's trying to speak with Netflix about something. So when it will be on this scale, I think the sponsors, they will just appear out of nowhere. This is the easy way, but on the long way, yeah, we need to educate, our students, to tell them about, to be inspiration for them, you know. I really believe that is in our hands, actually.
Exactly what I try to say, and I love raw type of comps. You know, my own soul was more on Roadhouse and King of the Ring. But if you want to get out of your comfort zone, you need to, challenge yourself first of all. That's why you compete, basically, and go and find different formats. So we don't need to change completely format. We have the opportunity, as I was saying before, to diversify formats. So why not?
You could do a craft flair competition behind a real bar. Nice tool. It's basically a mixology competition with flair.
There you go.
Yeah.
In those days, I remember all Legends is, boring, speed round, pour test.
In Italy,
What about nowadays?
in Italy, if you saw all the Italian mixology competition, everyone are flaring behind the bar.
Craft, yeah.
Everyone are flaring. craft, pours, but for us are easy things.
That's
Yeah.
flair. That's
That's
flair, you know?
But everyone are flaring in mixology competition today.
Functional flair, I would say.
Which one? What flair?
Functional flair.
Functional. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, man. It's
Yeah, but still, I mean, I think there is space because when you work in company, you understand the amount of investment that a company can give to any activities, and it's not about the quantity of money that you need. It's about the way you spend that money. The decision is just in these two parts. So. And also history teach us that things from the past come back on trend. So I think there is future, but you know, we need to make the competitors behave a slightly difference in order to catch that moment.
There needs to be a whole community of upgrades because, as you said, the format hasn't changed in 40 years. We used to have Legends, King of the Ring, Triple Challenge, Roadhouse, a lot of different kind of styles. Nicholas's head-to-head competition, which we haven't seen since. And we fall back into that comfort zone once again, la 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 la, same routines, da 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 da. Which again, I love the raw, hardcore flair moves, but if it doesn't work out, competitions can get very boring very, very quickly.
At the end of the day, I believe that we need to be sensible to two ingredients: crowds and brands.
Yeah. That's it.
To talk about how today can be successful with flair, with your image, and with social media, with everything. You think maybe it can start to build a competition like alpha online competition in doing things, not just flair, doing things online, and alpha competition be on an event.
What do you think about your competition? Would you do that?
About our competitions.
No, about if for you it's good to try to build a competition like Alf, it's online competition. So you need to invent a story, do something somewhere, make the cocktail, make flair, everything, and other half of the competition be on stage, on the bar and on stage.
Yes, sounding interesting. I mean, in Pandemia, we did a lot of online competition, but I remember that also the Sky Vodka, it was online. You need to qualify online.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to work for that video, like to have really good moves. But head-to-head competitions are interesting. I think the bartenders, they are used to practice their round in their own way, like 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and they don't want to change too much, Back in the days in Legends, and they didn't have too many competitions, was like, and you have time to practice in 2 or 3 ways, But today we have so many competitions, and the rules are pretty the same, similar.
Do you remember the first online flair bartending competition by barproducts.com? Remember that?
I remember that.
You remember that one? And that was the first one. We had a minute or 2 minutes online thing. And I always remember Colin Griffiths did his rounds and he recorded himself first. And then he recorded himself doing a tandem with himself on a screen. And it was fantastic, and this is in 1987. No, this is in 2004
Or internet.
yeah. This is 2000.
That's YouTube.
Just YouTube.
VHS.
Like, imagine what people could do now with the same level of creativity. And I think mixology competitions, Diageo World Class, and some of the other big competitions, they're all doing online rounds. And we are behind in flair because not only will it bring more sponsors, it will bring better return on investment. It's not going to be amazing, but it will bring more awareness, more organic marketing through social media. Plus, it will diversify the competitions and it will get the creative juices of flair bartenders thinking about different things, because then they're at home in their comfortable space and they can make something and really stand out and take on the big guys with their online qualification. So I think online qualifying or competitions parts of it, we are behind. It needs to happen, and it needs to happen soon. Otherwise, we're going to fall further behind, and it's not going to be pretty.
Because I was with Matteo judging a competition exactly 1 year ago, I think, when we was in Calabria, and there was like 30 guys, 40, something like that.
Something like that.
And there was the cocktail was taste too. There was sponsors, and the cocktail was taste too. How many from like 40? How many drinks was drinkable? Not good, drinkable.
Can I skip the question?
Yes, but in that.
No, honestly, it was, it's case history, as we said before, and it was really, 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 really bad. I think that's drinks that could be servable were 4 or 5 on top of 40. But it's about what Francesco says before about rules, because 1 month later or 2 months later, I judged a competition in Genoa with almost the same bunch of guys competing. And in the briefing, I was really strict in terms of the drinks, not in terms of, I'm going to deduct you, but in terms of, come on guys, you are the image of Flair. You cannot serve something like this.
For that, I was in that competition. I was struggling inside myself. Because like I feel in a competition, I feel old. You know, I feel I said, and look, I have the goosebump. I was like struggling inside myself because I was looking at the mixology world and the cocktail world. They are doing crazy things like clear cocktails, like clear potatoes, things. You don't know how extreme Italian is now in mixology. And I was there with Matteo and was struggling with me. But come on, guys, I'm one of you. You're my guys. You know, I don't want to. If the people saw this, I don't want the people know. We can do better. You know.
Right.
And
You did an online you did something with the online.
I was putting on the Instagram stories, and I was giving to the competitors the possibility to get 10 plus points of his routine in doing a porn star martini with already did it for the finest called porn star martini, and with just pouring the alcohol, just pouring and shake with 20 seconds or 30 seconds. But you know, in 40 guys, how many did it well?
All of them.
4.
Oh.
Someone short, someone long, someone without shakes. But you have not to make a porn star martini. You have to take finest call, spirits,
Pour it together.
shake it. And in the rules, I was putting the things to put in your Instagram stories to make it look better for the company.
Sure.
Because the company was asking me, okay, we go there, we pay you, what we can get. Let's say, okay, I can do
Of
it.
course.
40 guys, we share the stories with the porn star martini.
The thing is, one question that I haven't understand. Were you doing like follow up on the competitors before the comp, or you just told the competitors at the comp throughout the briefing or something like that? Because one thing that I think is like a child with their parents, you know, you can't point the finger to the child when it's our responsibility to give them the right education within time, training, patient, mistakes, and again and again and again. We can't expect competitors from one day to another to show up at the comp and do a great cocktail, clarified cocktail, great ingredients, great garnishes, and everything else. It needs to be a sort of path to go through. So now we got, well, not now, but we got internet to educate even as a Flair comp organizer, you know, to do videos about, hey guys, we got these guys that they signed up for this comp. Look forward to seeing this kind of standards, this kind of cocktails, this kind of quality image and everything else. It's our responsibility, not theirs.
Exactly. I mean, briefings in competitions, unless it's talking about the structure of the day, is completely pointless.
It's too late.
The briefing should be 3 months ago. 3 months or more? Guys, this is what we want to see. This is what the competition is all about. And then maybe a month before, an update. Guys, this is the update, blah, 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 blah. And then at the competition, the briefing is, this is how the day is going to run. I'm not going to talk to you about the rules, the regulations, anything else. That you should already have. So it's, yeah, exactly what you said. If you're not educating them beforehand, you can't expect miracles to happen.
Even now, the own creation recipe, they are writing in front of you, you know, the competitors, the top level competitors, they are writing the own creation, you know. I remember when I was competing, I was printed because we sometimes in a competition, you know, the technical judges, but the cocktail judge, sometimes we didn't know who will be, you know, what nationality will be. And I remember I was printed in Spanish language, in Italian, in English. If I was going to Asia with the flag and with every small details, you know, and when I handled the recipe to the judge, he was like looking like this, you know, impressed. I mean, and I tell to all my students, guys, all these small details, it is also better for you if you are in a competition not to write like really fast your recipe in front of the judges. It's looking unprofessional, you know?
It make you look better, you know. Yeah. But in the overall, even in the company itself, in the performance in the stage, those little details make you look better to the judge, to the crowd, the sponsors,
and then you get more points.
Yeah, you're gonna get a little stupid, but you're gonna get more points.
And I think for me, it comes back to organizers need to not be scared. It's going to sound bad, of pissing off the competitors, because a lot of the time we will make competitions for the bartenders because we've been there. We want to give them the best possible stage and blah, blah, blah. But as organizing a competition, if a brand is going to give me $50,000 or whatever, sorry, but you're going to have to do what I'm asking you, what the brand is wanting you to do on stage. If you don't like it, don't compete.
Natural selection.
Like, we were lucky to have those super raw flair competitions. We were lucky. And there will still be the super raw ones. But if we want to progress, we need to change the mold, update it, you know, train the people. We need to put more effort, not just thinking, I've got $10,000. I can put on a competition, put in a bar and off you go, you know. There is those that are going to still be alive, but if you want to make a good competition, we need to upgrade.
As you were saying before, if you would ask some competitors who actually work behind the bar nowadays, you said earlier that a lot of them, they would say, I'm independent. So it would be a selection in between bartenders or just performers.
Sure.
So why not?
Yeah, exactly. Do it, you know. I organized a competition in January and said, what's your name, country, who you representing? I'm independent. I said, no. You cannot be independent. You have to represent a brand. I'm not going to put down...
That's how much power
I think
guys like you that organize camps,
I think
flair comps, you can decide what road
I think the world class it's
to give
like
some
this.
pressure.
I think in world class you have to be from one bar.
Sure.
You cannot put independent in the world class competition.
Exactly.
That's a reason behind.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's a reason behind.
Yeah.
It's
because
you cannot compete as a freelance bartender.
No.
Because you have to get a representative bar.
Exactly. Because they want to then sell you their brands to the bar. It's the whole point. It's the whole point of the competition, you know?
Yeah.
I think the bar actually has to stock the brands. I could be wrong.
But I'm not pretty sure about this rule.
Yeah, you are.
No, let's say you cannot force a bar to stock product to taking part in a comp. But if you're smart, you can engage the bars to stock it. You can get contact. You can enlarge your network. That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
And that's a huge difference. And in terms of the online competition, I'm just saying that I think this is the future. This is the future. Also because as brand, if you do your natural selection online, you're gonna get sure that on the live show you have the best show possible. And so that's what a brand want to pay, because they put the brand image to a nice show with nice people with nice cocktail, because it's a return of image as well.
Corporates corporate brands, you know, they see views, they see social media marketing as a huge potential. They see numbers as they have to do. So imagine, Luca is an example, Tom is an example, Matteo is an example, that they're doing a good show, a clean show that for us technically could be boring. Yeah, but it's between us. Who gives a fuck? Yeah. It needs to be appealing to views and brands. So we have an art, we have a discipline, we have something that has been grown within us for so many years, and the skills that views-wise and digitalization nowadays can boost flair bartending so much.
I think I have to make this. I think I have to make a payment to watch this episode. There are too many advice.
Training course now.
There are too many advice in 50 minutes. So guys, I'm so glad to went here. You want to give one last advice to the today flair bartenders? If you want,
be humble.
I would Luca starts. I will let Luca starts first. Your advice for bartender.
Want to start?
I mean, for the flair bartenders, they just need to be careful to all the small details when they compete. We was talking in the podcast about how crazy I was when I was practicing. You know, I knew the judges of the competition, and I put a picture of the judges on my wall when I was competing. And in Singapore, it was Mr. Hojo and Shamil, and I knew that they are really good friends. And I put them on the right, on the same one to each other, you know. And there they changed the places, and I was going to them to talk what's happening, because the sun was going from the window, and he changed the place. I was like, why you are not friends anymore? What's happening? I mean, that kind of level of details, because details from here with good presentation, with nice cocktail, with nice recipe. I don't know, translated or not, but with good music. I remember that I was searching music like almost every day, fresh new music for the competition. And follow your dream. Yeah, practice as much as you can, and stay original in the world of followers and trends. Yeah, this is my my code. But I believe that these are the key small details.
Yeah, I want people to be humble. Be humbled about everything that you see, and be respectful of the other people, and enjoy yourself whilst you're doing it. Because if you're not enjoying yourself, what's the point? Neil Garner says to me when I used to judge with him last year, like he sees people on stage, he'll say to me, do they know they don't have to compete? Because they look so unhappy. So if you're not enjoying it, find a way to enjoy it. It's supposed to be an enjoyment, entertainment thing that we're doing. So be humble, entertain, have fun.
Cool. And I'm gonna just follow up Tom and say entertain, because remember that we don't do flair for ourselves or for the other competitor. We do a show for a crowd. So this should be the first things in your mind, your top of mind. And as personal suggestion, bring yourself on stage. So just bring yourself on stage. Because once you bring yourself on stage, people start to know you really. And you're gonna start to come back to have that fun that you had many, many years ago when you start to throw water in the air. Because it's all about fun. So bring yourself on stage. It's gonna be my...
What about you, Francesco?
I believe you need to be a bartender first. So you need to truly understand what bartending is all about first. And because within bartending, there are details, and you either are a maniac studying those details, otherwise you're going to be another one of those garage sweatpants throwing things around. So we have a huge opportunity to high up and take again what belonged to bartending for a very long time I hope these guys really understand what style, image, details, standards, and bartending is all about.
Thank you, guys. I'm very glad. It was one of my dreams be like this and be here. Thank you so much.
Let's go and drink.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe if the company will give it to me the possibility, I will do it bigger, and then I will invite you guys too. Ragazzi, questo è il nuovo episodio del podcast del bartender. Grazie per averci seguito. Ci vediamo al prossimo episodio. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Ciao.